Hello, welcome to DHS Boot Camp Emergency Plan Training Part 2. Okay, I am going to, last week, I think you were both with me. You were all here last week, correct? Yeah, okay. So this is Part 2. We're going to pick up with the rest of the emergency plan. Okay. Can you guys see this?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to make it so it's the whole screen. There we go. Okay. So the last section of the emergency plan is about emergency drills. Emergency drills need to be conducted annually, just one time per year. So it's not like a fire drill where we want to do it every 30 days. This is one time a year, and it has to be documented and on file at your facility. So at the end of this presentation, I'm going to show you where that annual emergency drill lives. And then I'm also going to show you where you can actually keep and store a lot of your completed documents. Okay. The next section is just talking about how you as the director need to review your emergency plan every year. Now, we just did this across the board as we've been getting our new licenses for this coming year. We have been updating those emergency plans. You all have signed them and dated them as an indicator that you have updated your emergency plans. So that's real important to keep in mind. You can't just let it sit on a shelf. They can be, there's a section on the emergency plan and right at the beginning of it where you actually enter those updates and dates. So I'll show that to you at the end of this presentation as well. Each facility person has to receive their training, annual emergency plan training. You all just went through that. You know, we have a little form that you sit with your staff and where you review the emergency plan. That training certification has to be placed in the each staff file. So our process is you have the group form and you have the individual form, whatever works best for you, but you've got to send those completed forms to the business office so that your respective business manager can get them into the staff file. Okay. Any questions on that? Brent, you good?
Yeah, I'm good. All right. Yeah, okay. Just writing. That's all.
That's fine. That's absolutely fine. Okay. D is the emergency plan has to be posted. Now, I will point out that it says here it has to be posted in a conspicuous location. DHS has allowed us, if you've noticed on your posting where you have the regulations and the DHS phone number, we have added QR codes that link your emergency plans so that a parent can actually pull them up and read them. That is acceptable to DHS. I will point out, though, that last summer, when DHS, they come in and they want to see your emergency plan, you got to know where it is. It doesn't have to necessarily be, out at your parent board. It doesn't have to be there, but all staff need to know where it exists in case you need it. Last summer at Allegheny YMCA, we had the sign up there, regulations available upon request. However, when DHS asked for that emergency plan, none of the staff knew where it was. So that was a citation. And now the resolution for them was to actually put the emergency plan on their welcome center board. So just to point that out, it's okay to have in a cabinet or a desk or whatever, but staff need to know where it is and how to get to it at all times. The posting with the QR code is acceptable by DHS. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah.
And Deb, if somebody wanted to build that QR code, who do they go to do that?
So I have a QR code builder, and that's what I've been doing is actually creating the QR code and inserting on that posting specifically for every site.
Okay, great. So will you be sending that out automatically, or should they request it for you if they want to use it?
as I get the emergency plans, that's exactly what I've been doing. So Brent and Claire, you have that posting, right, with the QR code? Yeah. So as we've been working through all of the licensing renewals, we've been doing that.
Okay.
All right. We, as operators, as directors, when there's an update to the emergency plan, which is on an annual basis, you just need to let the parents know that it's been updated. Okay. Let me back up a second too. In the enrollment process, when the parents actually enroll in the program, they are given access to the parent guide. And in that parent guide, it has a section on the emergency plan training. So they are given it at initial enrollment, but you as the director need to provide that information to parents when it's been updated. So interestingly, I got a call from Becca asking me about the QR code to the emergency plan, and because she wanted to send it in a letter to her parents. I said, great idea. So I simply sent her a copy of the QR code that she's going to copy and paste in a parent letter. And so you don't even have to send them the whole plan, just send them the QR code. It's a beautiful thing. I thought that was a great idea. Any questions on that? Okay, I'm going to jump to the next slide. The last section, the last part of this section is that the operator, this is really important. This is kind of a little wonky right now. The last part is that the operator, you as the director, need to send a copy of that emergency plan to the emergency management agency of your respective municipality. Now, I will tell you that this year and this year only, DHS is coming in and they're asking you, did you send your emergency plan to the emergency management agency? And all they want is a simple yes. They're not asking, this year only, they're not asking for documentation of that. In the future, next year, they will ask for documentation that you actually sent it to the emergency management agency. So that means that you've got to, if ideally, if you email it to them, then you have an email verification that you would copy and save for your file so that you have that ready to go for inspection. If the emergency management agency doesn't even respond to your email, or it's not your fault, you send it to them, you're good, you're golden, but you've got to have that verification. One of our directors did actually, I think it was Becca actually, she did send it to the emergency management agency, and she actually got a letter back. Thank you for sending your emergency plan back to us. We reviewed it. Everything's good. And she's got that for her records so that at the time of inspection, she can provide that letter from the emergency management agency. Every agency is different. Every municipality is different. You know, we've got lots of municipalities here in Allegheny County. So you got to there's an emergency management agency website that you can actually Google who your EMA is to find out where to send it to. Okay. Any questions on that? No. Yes, Jess.
So this is a different entity than where we send the letter stating that the program happens.
Correct.
So it can't be combined into one larger.
It depends on your municipality. Really, every municipality is different. So it may be one and the same. It could be different, but that's why it's important to do your homework.
But if it were the same, if it was just the police department, you could potentially just send that letter.
Yeah, the traffic letter and the emergency plan.
You could do that together if it was the same place.
If it was the same place. Yep. Okay. So I want to show you two things. The emergency plan, and this is hot off the press, actually. Your completed emergency plans now have a home, which is easy for you to get to. It lives on the Youth Enrichment Drive and in the program location documents folder. Okay. So I'm going to go there right now. Let's see. I'm going to go to this tab. Okay. So here we have the shared drive. Okay. And I'm going to scroll down to Youth Enrichment Drive. And there's a lovely new folder right here, Program Location Documents. I click on that. And now every one of our programs has its own folder. And within that folder, I'm gonna pick on let's pick on Ross, since we just did Ross. So I click on Ross. Here's your emergency plan. And actually, Becca's been hard at work copying things in here. But you can see that the emergency plan, there's a regulation. She's got that posting that we talked about a week or two ago. She's got her emergency plan confirmation. That's what I just had mentioned to you about. She got back from the EMA. But it's a beautiful thing. So let me point out another one. So let's check on McIntyre. Here's McIntyre, emergency plan. And there's your emergency plan for McIntyre. It's all in there. Okay.
So this is a great resource also. Sorry, I just jumped you,
No,
Claire.
okay.
But I'm thinking it's a great resource too. If somebody is like stuck and missing something, they can look at what somebody else has done and probably just change a couple words and make it their own.
So the idea being that as you could use the templates, save those templates in this program location documents, and you'll always have them, and they won't be on your own drives. We've struggled with, when someone leaves and it's like, where's the emergency plan or where's the posting? We can't get to those computers, but here, if it's here, we'll always have them. Okay.
If we want to make changes to our emergency plan, for instance, at Avonworth, I want to change the fire drill meeting point. Do we email you and you edit it, or is there a way for us to do that?
So I didn't get to Avonworth, but there is a Word doc, which I've got to move them all over. I just haven't had a chance to move the Word doc and the PDF into the respective location folders, but I will do that. I'll move the Word doc. You'll have access to that. And then let me know, and I'll convert it to the PDF, because then it's a revised document, and that changes your QR code on your posting.
Okay.
So it's like a chain reaction. Okay. All right. I mentioned the annual and the emergency drill back on the Youth Enrichment Drive. Okay. In program forms and logs, the emergency drill is right here. Okay. So you can actually print that out and have that at your site. I want to point out right now too that the historical documents of drills and logs and things like that, you really need to keep, because it's the keeping of those documents is associated with Keystone Stars. They want to see the history of the logs and the record keeping. So you never want to get rid of this. Okay. All right. Any questions?
And Deb, maybe Brent and Claire already know, but do you want to, because maybe you've already covered it, but do you want to give examples again of what these hypothetical emergencies are for this special emergency drill?
So an emergency drill could be a tornado. Doesn't necessarily have to be a fire. It could be a water main break and you've got to vacate the building. It could be, trying to think, it could be, the electricity went out and you've got to vacate the building.
And I know it could also be like, an active shooter in the area or something like that. And I know people sometimes think about their location and what is most likely to happen in your area, whether it's, an active shooter in the neighborhood or a flooding incident, or what is likely based on where you're located.
To piggyback on the active shooter, you all in your emergency plans have indicated a lockdown. So you got to know where your lockdown location is. That'd be a good drill to practice. That's a real good idea, Jess. Yep. Other questions? Any other questions on any other thing?
Yes. I keep trying to look for a list of the minimum that is necessary for the first aid kit, and I can't find it.
Okay.
You
I'm
mentioned
gonna
to me where it was, and I forgot. But
No, that's okay. So I'm going to show you where the regulations actually live.
okay.
So let me present again. Oops, wrong button. Tab. Okay, so I'm back out here. I'm going to back out. I'm going to back out to shared drive. Okay. And this time I'm going to go to CCDHS certification folder. You still see, I got to keep checking to make sure that it's following along with me. Okay. In the DHS Octal folder, I'm drilling down into it. I scroll down. Here is where all of the DHS announcements and directives live. And as they are made obsolete, I'm pulling them out of here. But this is where all of our regulations, update to regulations live. So if you're ever bored and you want some reading material, you can come here and check it out. But as I'm scrolling down, there's a DHS, there's a Word doc that has the actual link, and there's also a PDF of it. If I go to the link, okay, there's a link, and I'm gonna, this will actually take me to the website. And these are the regulations. So as I'm scrolling down, there's a section on first aid kits. $32.70.75. The beauty of going to the website is that these links are live, and when I click on it, it'll take me right to that section. And there's where the first aid supplies. That's what they are.
Okay.
You
Right.
see that?
Yeah.
Good question. Any other questions that I can help with?
Probably in the future. Probably 5 minutes after this meeting.
Just give me a call.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Deb, I have my QR code at Westview right on my board. So, I mean, it's the one that you created. I just printed it
Great.
off and put it on the board. So it's
Perfect.
there. So
Perfect.
yeah, that's not too bad.
Awesome. Yep. Great.
So,
All righty. Any other
yeah.
questions, comments, concerns? Okie dokie. Well, you guys have a great weekend.
Thank you. And
All
thank
right.
you.
All right.
Yes,
Bye.
thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.